Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the special episode of our brand new series, Untold Side of the Mind, where we delve deep into the fascinating, lesser known aspects of the human mind. And today, we are thrilled to have back with us a repeat guest who never fails to inspire and enlighten, Yogi Sanjeevana. He is not only a celebrated yogi, but also a thinker and mind expert with deep understanding of the mind body connection and has transformed countless lives. So, as part of this Untold Side of the Mind series, we will explore myths, truths, and powerful practices related to the mind, bringing you practical wisdom to enhance your everyday life. In the last episode, we discussed angry mind, and today is our sixth episode, and we are here to cover more details around the topic ignorant mind. And just to give you a brief recap of the first five sessions, we have covered the following topics. First one was introduction to the mind or introduction about the mind, followed by wholesome mind, and then power of the mind, and then greedy mind, followed by angry mind, which was our last live session. So today we are going to dive into ignorant mind. So Yogi Sanjeevana ji, hearty welcome. Hope you are doing well.
Thank you, Naveen. It's always a pleasure to be here. And yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. All right, thank you, and let's get started. And my first question for today is, what exactly is an ignorant mind? And is ignorance just a lack of knowledge, or is it something deeper that we unconsciously nurture?
So, yeah, Naveen, it's a great question. Ignorant mind is like, if we take the negatives, this is like a key factor of all. Like all the negatives, this can be like the main reason or the root cause of. If ignorance is there, then there can be greed, there can be anger, everything. So, this is like if you take the worst things can be the greed and the anger. No? So if ignorance was a
Mm-hmm.
coin, greed and anger will be the two sides of the coin. So it will be heads or tails, and it can flip also.
Mm-hmm.
But ignorance is the main cause, and in many traditions it shows like even the cycle of samsara, many things happen. All these faults we put ourselves into, troubles we make for ourselves is a root cause. The main root cause is ignorance.
Got it. And does this ignorant mind know that it is ignorant, or does it create illusions just to justify its ignorance?
No, Naveen, if it knew, it would not happen like that. So it's not a knowledge-based
Mm-hmm.
thing. There can be, it's like think a person makes destructive weapons or something. They are very knowledgeable, but they are ignorant to the fact that these can harm people or animals and nature. There are people who make or do things like which seems like brilliant, but it is used to the opposite things, no, weaponized. If they knew, they would never do as such. So
Mm-hmm.
this is like a veil that covers, or it's like a blindfold that a person, even a person who has eyes, it's like they tie their eyes and they act blind, or not even act. They think they are blind, but they don't even,
Mm-hmm.
some even don't know they are blind.
Got it. Got it. And can we unknowingly choose ignorance? And is there a subconscious force that stops us from seeking the truth?
Yeah, it is ignorance itself. We wish like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, in some places Naveen, it's mentioned like, say, I'm not telling because of you. Like if your glasses like are clear, right? But think like if somebody puts a glasses like one specific color, so they see everything in that color, right?
Hmm.
One person told me a beautiful exercise to do. Maybe our listeners can try this out. So
Mm-hmm.
this person said, Naveen, take a look around your room
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
have a look around your room, and then take
Okay.
all the brown items into your mind. All brown. Okay? Now
Brown
close your
color. Yeah.
eyes. Now close your eyes and think of the red objects you saw. Difficult to find red objects, right? So our mind,
Absolutely.
yeah, we when we try to find one particular one, we forget, we lose on the others. So then maybe we can find one or two items, but not all. But now look around, there can be many red objects or other colors. So likewise, that's why they, even parents, teachers, it could be anybody from any field. They see in their glasses they wear, not the clear glasses. And that's why they divide themselves according to religion, ethnicity, and there are so many problems in everywhere. So because they don't
Hmm.
see some extreme group, they have their own glasses. It can be any sort, right? And people think like they are
Right.
better than the other, or they know better, no? So these are glasses that they wear. So it is not like
Hmm.
it's ignorance itself. But if they knew, nobody would do this kind of things even.
Yeah. I liked the exercise actually. In fact, I tried it myself,
Really?
so which is really good. And with that, very interesting. And with that,
Because
let's
I
move to
got
the
caught to that. This person said,
next
"No,
one.
try it out." And then I was like, my goodness, I could not find. There was like a red umbrella, luckily. Like it's more purple, like. Then I
Mhm.
remembered only that. No, I was like, oh, come on. No, like nobody told me about red, right?
Yeah. Hmm. And what is the first sign that someone is waking up from ignorance, if at all they happen to wake up?
It can be because of many reasons, Naveen. It can be some
Hmm.
incident like that happened suddenly, or somebody that told something. It can be some dramatic incident or some trauma or even a life experience. When we like kind of like evolve through the times, or we feel we witness many hardships, or we do the same mistake again and again and again, at some point we start learning. So at this point will be the time that they, it's like they open their eyes. Even awakening, even enlightenment, or anything can be applied in that sense. So
Hmm.
it's like a otherwise we are like in sleep. We don't know, and
Hmm.
we do things that might hurt ourselves as well as many people around us. So it can happen because of many reasons. The viewpoints, how we
Hmm.
see, how we realize, how we understand. So this everything, ignorance plays a huge role, and usually it's associated with the monkey mind. In meditation, you can clearly see
Hmm.
this. It's a great antidote for this monkey mind and doubt. These are the things associated with, and there's no pleasure in this. And the worst thing is like you can fall into a numb stage, and then
I
the
see.
and then you can do bad things even without even a feeling of it, through ignorance. And you can try to make it righteous. But the biggest problem is for average person is the monkey mind, the wandering mind. They cannot be focused even if for a child. So this is the opposite of wisdom actually. The anti like
I
this
see.
is the opposite of wisdom. And then the other part is like you can have plenty of doubts about what you are learning, what you are doing, about your partner or the spouse, even the world, the existence. There are people I meet in sessions and all, Navid. Their lives are quite
Hmm.
fine, but they feel
Okay.
like something is missing, or like they find a reason to be unhappy. So they do, if they knew what they have or appreciated, they can live their life very happily. But these are people like they have a nice family and they are quite doing very well in their businesses or like professions. But they think, oh, I think I lack something. They say, not in an intellectual or like some profound way, but it seems like there's a blindfold somewhere, like a veil is covering something. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And how does this spirituality break the cycle of ignorance?
So we can just start from a normal situation until enlightenment now. So yeah, in a normal scenario, like when people do harm, it can be abusive situations, any place. I saw a nice story like a husband had come drunk. I'm not in this good there. So he has collapsed at his home now. And then he had like thrown his shoes around, and then he had vomited and he had fallen down. And then in the morning, or like close to morning, he had woken up, and then when he looked around, everything was clean. He and his wife is staying, and then he was surprised. He thought like he'll get like a full on attack or a blast from the wife, no, because she had to clean everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they then slowly approached her and asked, like, aren't you upset with me, or like, why aren't you like telling anything about? Then it says like, she was trying to like help him and like take off his shoes and all. And in that instance,
Mm-hmm.
he had told like, lady, if my wife gets no, she'll be really upset. And I'm a married man. Don't do this, no. So she had thought like, wow, no, this guy who's drunk, if he in this stage, if he remembers his wife, so then she had forgiven him, no. So there are instances, and then after that he learned his lesson. It seems like how much his wife loves him, even in his worst stage. He's reduced or stopped drinking. So there are people in different stages now. When they
Mm-hmm.
realize what they do, it can be a awakening process by themselves. So people who did some hardship, or there were some people who were partying all the time, and they met with the accident, and then they realized, and they were put into like operations and all these kind of things, but they survived, and they realized the value of life after that. So people have, and these awakening moments are always brought up to them. So, spirituality, we had a nice discussion yesterday also. So, we were talking how can you implement spirituality into day to day life, but it's like a clear piece of paper. Then you draw a line and you make the separation, or you make a fence or a wall, and we think like, okay, when we are doing day to day things, or if I can escape this. But sometimes you might go to a retreat and think, oh, don't know how it's at home, how my kids are there doing, or my wife is doing. No, what is happening at home? So we are in these opposite sides always, but it was the same property or the same piece of paper, but we make the division. So spirituality, what it can do is it connects all this, it breaks the borders, breaks the barriers, and gets us to know like this is the reality of things. So in a bigger aspect, I mean, like to freedom of anger, freedom of greediness, a stable mind, even enlightenment, the ignorance is considered as the biggest pillar. Or in another
Right.
sense, like in a house, the biggest rafter of the house, which connects the small rafters together. But if the roof
Right.
collapses, the walls and everything starts collapsing after that. Because roof is the one that covers everything and keeps intact. So likewise, and the small rafters are connected to the biggest rafter of the house. So likewise, when it goes, everything collapses. Or if it was a carriage or something, if the main holding point releases, all things start crumbling down. So even if a person wants to reach enlightenment, this is what they are doing: the eradication of ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be from the small stage, just to know I must not scold, I must not be angry, I must not do these bad things. From that, it can go all the way right up to enlightenment even.
Right. And how about the meditation? Is it a tool to dissolve ignorance, or do people misuse it just as an escape?
What do you mean by escape, Naveen?
Escape means just they're ignoring the ignorance.
Usually the practice is to like cultivate the wisdom. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now in ancient scriptures and all say what we give is like dana or donation. It could be food or anything. It's
Mm-hmm.
what we receive. And according to the virtues like not killing, not stealing, these kind of things are the reason we are healthy. But some people, like in some families, you can see they have all the things they need, even more, and they are quite healthy also. But they don't have the knowledge or the wisdom to control maybe the assets they received. So they either play around with them or do some wrong investments or anything. The wisdom, even if it's not for enlightenment, is brought by through meditation actually. Meditation is
Mm-hmm.
like not just closing your eyes and wait. You use your mind in multiple ways and multiple times to make it's like sharpening a blunt edge. So it makes super sharp. So through
Okay.
that actually, so yes, in the meditation field, or some people can grow ignorance. I know more than that. I am the best meditator. my virtue is the best. Like that, you can have a trend of ignorance again, which is like crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's like you take medicine and medicine makes you sick, right? But the idea is actually to let go of it. So even the simplest practices make your mind sharper and sharper, and awakening like wisdom.
Right. Let's assume somebody becomes enlightened. And can the enlightened mind ever become ignorant again?
If it's the case, then it is not enlightenment. Through the eradication of ignorance itself is the reaching of enlightenment. This is like the biggest obstacle. And when a person really reaches there, and like, because it's mind factors, right? It's in the mind. So it's easier than a physical item. But you have to go to the roots and the deeper stages of the mind, and then let it, you really witness through wisdom. And then what happens is like you see the passing away, even those kind of minds, or the mind supporting factors. So some places it's said as cause and effects, and then you don't let it again, how to say, like regerminate, recultivate. And it's like those seeds, you don't let it sprout again or grow again. And those seeds that were already there, you just let them die off. Or if it's a fire, you let the fire die off, you don't put fuel to that. Then through that realization only a person reaches enlightenment. But there can be stages, but it's not as before. But fully enlightened beings, they would never ever fall into ignorance again.
Right. Got it.
Uh-huh.
And also tell us one universal truth about the mind that most people fail to see.
Yeah, like the impermanence factor or ever changing factor, which they are
Mm-hmm.
suffering,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't realize. And the irony is like they think, they ask for like, I want some change. I'm so tired. This is boring. But it's always happening, right? Or they are stuck in some
Right.
kind of situation, or a depressive mind, or anxious mind, or stress itself. They are stuck there. But if we realize like everything changes rapidly and everything is a brand new moment, people can do so many things. They are not stuck nowhere.
Right.
But they don't know this, no? And they think like they are stuck in some place. So there are so many ultimate realities like people don't see or look over them, which is right in front of your eyes. So if they realize this, they'll see the importance of life, not in a negative way. Oh my gosh, like no more time for me, not like that. They'll see the importance of life and they'll use it to the maximum actually. It's the opposite. This is just one. There are so many.
We will cover one by one in the upcoming episodes as part of this untold side of the mind. So, my last question for today is, if you could give just one piece of wisdom to help people overcome ignorance, what would it be?
Yeah, I can just give example. Also, I was talking to a person who was like having a PhD also, Naveen, and then I just asked like, why can we can we can search for these things? And then there was a
Hmm.
long, broad conversation and discussions, and then this person said like, no, we cannot do that. Then I just said like, we can think about these things. And this person said, no, 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 we are not allowed to. So I'm not telling why or what, or I'm not pointing fingers, but people keep themselves like shrouded by darkness. But it seems like because it's right in front of us, right? This, and nobody can prevent us from this. And it is not we are rebelling against some government or something like that, right? We just want to know a reality in life, right? And that doesn't hurt nobody. So we have the right to
Right.
explore and see. And then it's easy in the all the problematic situations, they become like soap bubbles or balloons which we can penetrate so easily. Things that seem so solidified or we are so entrapped in them, we can break through those barriers and penetrate them. So best thing is like we have the right to explore. And if somebody is like preventing us from that, that is a big problem, no? Because for what reason? We are not doing any harm. We don't have to change who we are or anything, but we can know the truth. It's not some conspiracy or trying to topple a government or something like that, right? Just a reason to be more happy. peaceful.
Yeah.
So if we can explore these things without just staying in one place or getting stuck somewhere, there's so much things. It's like a doorways. It's always right in front of our eyes or face, we can say. The reality, the
Mm-hmm.
sun comes and it goes down. The seconds pass, the days pass. So there are so many realities that show, arise and pass like right in front of us. The
Mm-hmm.
invitation is to just explore and see what is there right in front. Then we can witness so many beautiful things in life.
Yeah. Got it. And thank you so much. And before I wrap this conversation, so folks, as we wrap this up with Yogi Sanjeevana, let's first of all pause and reflect. The thing is, mind is a paradox. It craves wisdom, yet it often clings to ignorance. But awareness begins with asking the right questions. And now let me turn the spotlight onto you. So, for those of you who have tuned into this, here are set of questions which you may want to ponder upon. First one is, what is one belief you have never questioned, yet it shapes your life? And next is, are there uncomfortable truths that you have avoided just to stay in your comfort zone? Think about it. And if at all, ignorance feels like bliss, is awareness a burden or your greatest liberation? And what is stopping you from expanding the boundaries of your own mind? So, folks, true transformation starts from within. And the moment we challenge our own thinking, we step into a higher realm of awareness. And with that, we'll conclude it. So, a heartfelt thank you to Yogi Sanjeevana ji for sharing such a deep wisdom and guiding us through the layers of the ignorant mind. And your insights are truly enlightening as always. And to our audience, again, thank you so much for being part of this journey of the guiding voice. We are close to celebrating our fifth milestone, which is a 5-year milestone. So, in the meantime, keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, the untold side of the mind is waiting to be discovered. And stay tuned for 3 more topics as part of this series. So, until next time, take care. Love you all. Bye bye.
You.